Hey, what's up everybody? Spencer here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to dig into how to do square mortises on the underside of a rake handrail using a hollow chisel tilt mortiser. So hope you enjoy the video. Be sure to look for the next video also where we'll cover how to do the square mortises on the treads, which is a little bit different process. So hope you enjoy the video and we'll dig right into it. Next, we're going to head over to the mortiser with this handrail, but first, I need to know what angle this rake is at exactly. So I've got 37.25. I'll need to know that to set up the mortiser. So, really important to note, this is not your ordinary hollow chisel mortiser. This is a tilt mortiser. So they're a little bit rare compared to your standard benchtop mortiser, which is just going to go up and down and maybe have a table that swivels. This, the whole head swivels, and this is what you need for stair work. So this I actually had to get from Canada and do a little bit of modification on the back. Out of the box, it'll only go to like 30 degrees, I think. So you have to drill another hole in the back, and then that'll allow it to go up to 40, which is what you want for stair work. So first thing I got to do, setting this up to do the handrail rake, is to get this set at the proper angle. I highly recommend that you get one of these digital gauges because it allows you just to set this on the table, zero it, put it on your bit, and then you can get that angle dialed in perfectly. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out my digital angle finder. I'm gonna hit on, and notice I don't have the, this side is magnetic, okay? And I want that to be able to go on the bit, so I'm not setting the magnetic side on here. So set that on your base, hit 0. Get that bad boy zeroed, okay? So now we're zeroed. Now I can put this on the bit, try and get it nice and plumb, and I can adjust this to the side now. To make this adjustment, you need a wrench. So I have a dedicated wrench with some Velcro that I put right on the back here so it's always there. And I'll have to loosen these bolts, and that will allow the head to swivel, and then I'll tighten them up whenever I have it where I want it. You do have to be very careful because this sucker is heavy, and if you loosen them and you don't have a hold of it, it will fall hard. So now I'm going to get this to about 37.25. Just get it close, and then I'll snug them up. So we'll lock them down now, nice and tight. Put the wrench back where it goes. So now you can see there, 37.2 degrees, that's what we want. When I set up this whole deal, thinking about efficiency, I also mounted the little case that this digital angle finder comes in on the back here, so it's always with the mortiser. Now you want to set the table. My handrail is 2 3/4 inch wide, minus a ½ inch for the balusters. That's 2 1/4 divided by 2 is 1 1/8 inch. So I cut a scrap 1 1/8 inch, and you can use that to square up your fence. You can see here the fence loosens. Pull that up into position and get your bit nice and square to it, and then lock down your fence. And your bit is now centered on the handrail. Now I'm going to get my depth set. So I'm going to turn on the machine, lift it up, turn on the machine, which is not plugged in. This is just a scrap piece, and I plunged it to where I want it, and then you can loosen your depth collar and set it so that you get consistent depth on all your pieces. As far as depth goes, I'll try and pull this out. You can see I kind of use this point where it goes from square to rounded over as a gauge, and that's where I like to stop my depth there on the front side. Before we get too far into this, you can use Glide Coat or some kind of other lubricant, dry, thick stuff, and that'll help the bit not get hung up as bad. I keep a can of this all the time in my random stuff kit. I just noticed I'm getting a little bit of a bite on the outside of my mortise, and I looked in my auger bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there's a really nasty burr on that side of my auger bit. And to take care of these hollow chisel mortisers, to sharpen them, you really need something like this for the auger bit, and then these diamond cone deals for the actual square mortiser. But I'm going to touch that up before I get started with this. Getting ready to get started here. Another thing, double check, make sure you've got your handrail in the right direction so you're making your mortises in the proper angle and not going the opposite way. I can look at my bottom plumb cut here and make sure that it is in the same orientation as the bit. Another thing, down here, my handrail drops. Those you cannot permanently mount before you mortise, because as you can see here, it's going to get in the way. So this was just put on with some pin nails, so I'll remove that and then I'll permanently attach the handrail drop after all my mortises are done. So as I sit here editing this video, I've had a nasty ache in my right shoulder, and I didn't really know why, and I just realized it was from wailing on this machine all day. It actually takes quite a bit of force to pull this thing down and plunge these mortises, and you'll feel it after a while if you have a big job. Now, important note, as I get ready to do this second section of rake handrail, this rake section here is at 37.25 degrees, but with this offset here, the pitch actually changes also to 33.9 degrees. So I've got to make sure I change that before I mortise that handrail. You can't do it at the same angle. One other note, let's say you didn't have this digital angle finder with you. Another way that you can set your angle would be to just run your plumb cut that goes into your newel up to your mortising bit and just match this angle to your bit, and that would be another way to get where you need to be also. Note to self, when you've got a lot of weight out on one end, make sure you keep a hold of the handrail, or else it'll pop up back into your bit, causing a nice gouge in your workpiece. And then a second time just for good measure, just so I can show you guys what not to do. It may not seem like it, but there's actually an art to getting this hollow chisel mortiser bit set up properly. You want to have just the right amount of space between the auger bit and the square chisel. If you don't, it won't work right. So I'm not going to get into it here. There's a lot better videos out there on YouTube, but definitely keep that in mind. If you're doing this and it's not working right, you probably don't have your bit set up right. Well, we're done with the mortiser now. I've got my handrails over here. I just used my hyper gun and went ahead and permanently attach these miter drops, or goosenecks, whatever you want to call them. So I'm gonna just let these sit here and set up for a while, and then we can go over here and start doing the mortises on the treads. Alright guys, so hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. We'll tackle how to do the treads in the next video. That way this video doesn't get too long. In the previous videos, we covered how to do the horizontal rails and shoe rail on the balcony. So be sure to check that video out, as well as baluster layout. So thanks again for watching, guys. Drop me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Links to the tools used are in the notes with the video, or oftentimes in the top pinned comment in the comment section. So we'll see you on the next video, and thanks again.